This is a tough month for a lot of people. The holidays can be tough, not because they're not good or fun, but they're busy and overwhelming. And when you feel overwhelmed this month, or really anytime, this isn't a December specific, anytime you feel overwhelmed, there are a lot of techniques you can try, and there are some that as a yoga therapist, I'm gonna share with you today. Hello again, creative fam. I'm Caroline Cole, and welcome back to another week of the business of storytelling. I have a few quick tips and tricks for slowing down your heart rate, for slowing down your breathing, and ultimately bringing yourself a sense of calm that you didn't have before. The first one that I'm going to share with you is called alternate nostril breathing. Like many breathing techniques, like I just mentioned, this slows down your heart rate. It pacifies your nervous system. So if you have too much adrenaline running or something, it will really slow that down so that you can start processing what's around you in a more manageable way. So I do any of these breathing techniques, but this one in particular is great if you're stopped at red lights, or if you wait in carpool lines, if you're waiting in a drive-through line. Really like waiting spaces can be good for this. So this is how it goes. As you might have guessed from the name, alternate nostril breathing requires us to breathe out of one nostril and then out of the other. So it looks and sounds like this. You'll start by blocking one nostril. It doesn't matter which one you block. And you inhale through the one that's open. And then temporarily hold the breath, and then you'll block the other nostril and exhale. And then inhale through that one. Hold, switch, exhale. Etc. So that one can also be pretty beneficial if you are experiencing any congestion. You can sort of force that out by asking your nostril to breathe in and out of the congested side, and it can start to loosen up some of that congestion as well. The next type of breath that I really enjoy is called a box breath. So it goes like this. You breathe in for a certain number of seconds, you hold the breath. Suspend the breath is something I prefer that wording, because you're not tensing and holding, you're just suspending the breath for the same amount of counts. Exhale the same amount of counts, and then suspend the breath out for the same amount of counts. I recommend starting with a count of 3 or 4. That's generally accessible, whether or not you've practiced this too much. So, and then you can increase that number as you have more practice. So it would be inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, suspend it out, 2, 3, 4, and just continue with that same pattern. Let me do it without counting and narrating so I can really show you what it looks and sounds like. You can count on your fingers like I just did, or something I find helpful is moving the thumb across the pads of the fingers. So that can help really check back in with your nervous system. We have a lot of nerves on the ends of our fingers. So you can sort of go if you have a hard time meditating or focusing your breath and your brain on one thing without moving, if you have a lot of excess energy, or if you have been diagnosed with ADD or ADHD, or any kind of anxiety, diagnosed or not, it can be helpful to have something for your hands to do. So I find that a really helpful technique, just to keep my body involved so that my mind doesn't go to anywhere unpleasant or unhelpful. So finally, the last thing I want to share with you is what I call face yoga. I honestly am not sure if my brain came up with that term or if I heard it from another teacher, but face yoga is one of my favorite things to practice because it is so low key and so easy. And if you don't have time for a full yoga workout session, whatever, this will give you a lot of benefits. Although you won't sweat and you probably won't get rock hard abs, you will be calm and cool and connected and grounded. And honestly, I'd rather have that than rock hard abs anyway. Okay, so what I would start with is something like, I've done this in other videos before, but just doing a few releases of, we hold a lot of tension in our face and in our necks. In particular, I hold a lot of tension in my jaw and a lot of tension in the sides of my neck, because sometimes I think I'm trying to protect my vocal cords and I end up just stressing them out. So what I'll start with is doing what I've called before, what you've probably seen, called horse face, and I just release the tongue and the jaw, and it looks and sounds like this. And it looks really funny on video because you're like just flapping around, but that'll help release, kind of like a horse, lets out air. Helps release some tension that might be in the chin and the face. And then I will take 2 fingers and find that muscle where the mandible jawbone connects to the skull, and just draw some big circles here. You might slowly open and close your mouth while you're doing this. Really helping that release. That can be really nice massage there. Another good place to massage, especially if you are a voiceover actor or someone who speaks for a living, can be under the tongue. We hold a lot of tension in the tongue. Let me show you. I'm using both my thumbs right here, right behind the jawbone. And I'm just pressing, not too hard, just until, if you feel like you need to be mindful that you don't press too hard into your tongue, but you'll feel the muscle. And just sort of pull back here along the edge of the jawbone. Releasing there. And you can kind of come up to the sides too. It can be a nice full all the way back. And just kind of do what feels good there. Another good stretch to release this here can be to pull, take the inside of your hand and put that on the chin, and just gently pull down. It starts to release this here without pulling too much, just like a gentle tension. It's not cute, but it does help relieve that. Another thing that can be really good to relieve stress and tension in the face massage, face yoga sort of thing, is I have brows on right now, so they might go everywhere, but if you take your 2 fingers and you sort of pinch right above, like sort of the first part of the brow right here, there's a lot of sinuses. This is where a lot of sinuses are. Just kind of pinch along the edge. And if you find a spot that's particularly tender, you can massage a little bit there. But that really releases a lot. I can already feel like some of my sinuses clearing out. You can also pull across the top, pulling here. And just sort of clearing that out. Ooh. Some sound effects for today. Also, another way is to pull here, pulling up and back, and then down. And I usually like to finish it off with some neck massage along the sides, down into here. This is the sternocleidomastoid muscle, so it connects here here and out here. So it's like a lot of big connections, and it can hold a lot of tension as well. So be gentle here. You might have more tension than you expect, but just giving yourself a nice gentle massage. You can couple this with some head rolls. Inhale on the back, exhale across the front. Do 8 to 10 of those and then switch directions. Some shoulder rolls can be really good here as well. But again, that's not technically face yoga, but it all connects, obviously. Another great place to massage and to, release some tension is the ears. There's a lot of sensitive spots in the ears. And if you just take next time you're in a drive-thru and you're waiting in line for your order, just take your fingers and just massage behind the ear and just on top, anywhere you can really think of, right in front of. And these are really sensitive spots that, and some nice pressure points that can release some nice calming hormones that we need, especially this time of year, but all the time. And then always make sure you balance it out. Don't do one side if you're not going to do the other. Feels so good. And yes, your ears might be a little red afterwards, but boom, covered. Who knows? It won't last for long, but the calm hopefully will. So thank you for tuning in this week. I hope this added some peace and calm to whatever might be happening in this crazy final month of the year. I wish a lot of prosperity and abundance on your creative endeavors and your creative businesses, because this is the business of storytelling, friends. Thanks for tuning in again, and I will see you again next week. All right. Bye, friends. Oh yeah, also Instagram at Caroline Cole Stories, Twitter at C Cole Stories, and comment and subscribe. So, all right. See you guys next week.